Whether it's additional protection you're looking for or just some classic farm truck style, the Barricade Modular Extreme HD Grille Guard delivers. Featuring solid construction and a modular setup, this is going to give the front end of your 2007 to 2013 Silverado 1500 lots of protection and good looks for one of the best prices in the segment. The GMT 900 Silverados have always been workhorses, and they have some classic good looks too, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. The Barricade Modular Extreme HD Grille Guard offers a lot of coverage for the front end of your truck without the need to swap out the bumper. As you can see, this wraps around the edges of the front fenders as well, providing you with full coverage of your front lights. And it's just big overall, covering most of the front end, so it's going to provide excellent coverage and protection should you really need to put it to use. And it's not going to compromise on function. Now obviously you've still got plenty of access to open the hood, and your headlights won't be totally obscure either. These outer sections can be removed too, they are just bolted on, so it makes this a bit more flexible than some other grille guards on the market. The center section has this big open mesh design for additional protection of your grille, but will still allow plenty of airflow into the engine bay. The uprights here are also flat on the outer edges, so if you need to use this as a bit of a push bar, you've got the provisions to do that. And I think this brings a bit of a classic farm truck sort of style to the table, and it works well with the squared off styling of these trucks too, in my opinion. Now obviously that is subjective, but there's no denying that it makes the front end look a lot more serious and work focused, and you've got some additional functionality to boot without compromising your truck in the process. The guard is constructed from heavy-duty tubular and plate steel and is finished off with a gloss black powder coat, so you've got two really strong layers of protection against rust and corrosion. Plus, gloss black just looks nice on any truck, especially if you're going for that blacked out look with your build. All of the bracketry is made of the same steel and finished in the same coating too, so it makes for one clean-looking, cohesive package. This setup is going to run you about $800, and that makes this one of the most affordable full grille guards out there for this gen of Silverado. And that's great considering you're still getting a good quality material and solid construction, so if you're looking for a grille guard that can handle some abuse and look good without spending your entire budget, this is going to be the one for you. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. This is a direct bolt-on part that does not require you to make any modifications to your truck. However, it does require a bit of assembly, and once it's together, though it's not all that heavy, it can be a bit cumbersome just given its height. So I would highly recommend you get a friend to help you get this on the front end of your truck just for the sake of safety and ease. With that said though, let's head on over to the shop and we'll show you exactly how to get this mounted up on your truck.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, 13 and 18 millimeter wrenches, 10, 13, 15, and 18 millimeter sockets, and a 5 millimeter Allen socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a grille guard on our Silverado, so let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is remove our rad cover. We've got a bunch of push clips holding this in, so grab a clip remover tool and pop them all out. Now I'm missing one right here, so you'll have one there that you'll need to get as well. Next, I'm going to take a 10 millimeter socket, remove the 4 bolts at the top of the grill, and then I'm just going to pull straight back on this to pop it out of the clips. And then just get a good grip on it and just give it a firm tug. Now that we have our grill removed, we need to remove these 2 top bolts on our bumper bracket. So I'm going to take a 15 millimeter socket and pull these out. Now you're going to want to loosen up the 2 bolts on the other side as well. I've already done that. So now we have some good slack here that we can get our bracket in. But before we do that, we're going to take our adhesive pad and just stick that down. It's just going to protect our bumper from getting scratched by the bracket. So just peel off double-sided tape. Just stick that down. And then we're going to take our brackets you've got either a D or a P stamped on there for driver or passenger. We're on the driver's side here. Now I can't quite get it to go in this side. So there's going to be a bolt directly below this. It's going to be really hard to get a camera angle on, but just directly below the one that you took out. So I'm just going to loosen that up a little bit as well. And now we've got a little more room to work with. So I'll slip it in the one side, pull back on my bumper, slide it in the other side. And then we can start threading our bolts back in. And then you can take your 15mm socket and tighten down those bolts. And then I'll just go right below to tighten up the one that I loosened below. And then repeat that on the other side. So now we're going to install our mounting brackets on our frame. So we've got our S bracket first. We've got one side that has 2 holes. That's going to be going on the inside of the frame. We're going to take the longer of our bolts. This one's a 40mm. We also have 35. Go inside the frame and get the furthest back one first. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And then get a flat washer, lock washer, and nut onto the other side. And we'll just do that same thing in the front hole. And then from the back of the bumper, we're going to slide in our mounting plate onto the other side. And then once again, I'm going to go through the frame, get my furthest away hole first. And then flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the other side again. And I'm going to go back and do the outer hole. And then on the bottom, we're going to put one more of our shorter bolts in there to connect our 2 brackets together. And then we're just going to get our bracket straightened out. And I've got my wrench holding my bolt and 18mm socket on the nut side. We're going to tighten all these down. And then do that same thing on the other side. So now we're ready to assemble our actual grille guard here. Now we need to connect these 3 parts together. We're putting a bolt through all 3 at the same time. We also have our bar at the bottom. So we're going to do this on one side first, and then we're going to build the other side, just doing the same exact thing. Now one thing to note on your side pieces, at the bottom it's straight, at the top it's going to bend outward. So that's how you're going to know you have the right side. So now I'm just going to raise this up. I'm going to get my M8 bolt with a flat washer ready. I'm going to put it through the outer piece. I'm just going to get my 1 bolt installed first. Just kind of hold it together. And then our bottom bar, we're gonna have our bend going down like that. Grab your bolt and flat washer. Put that through. And flat washer and nut on the other side. And now repeat that process on the other side, and then we'll come back and tighten everything down. So now with the whole thing assembled, I'm gonna go back with a 13mm socket and wrench and tighten down all this hardware. And then do that same thing on the other side. Next, I'm going to reinstall our grill. So slide it in over the brackets, and then engage your clips, and then thread in the 4 bolts at the top. And then grab your 10mm socket to tighten these all down. And now we can throw our rad cover back on and reinstall all of our clips. Now I am missing a couple here, so you'll also have 2 on the outside here. So now I've grabbed myself a buddy. We're gonna lift this up and we're gonna work on our bottom mounts first using our M12 hardware. Next, we can connect our support bracket. Now I've just got a flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the other side of my Allen bolt and flat washer. And then I'm going to take a 5mm Allen socket on the bolt side, and I'll get a 13mm wrench on the nut side and tighten these down. And then do that same thing on the other side. And now we just need to come down to the bottom and tighten down all of our hardware. So I'm just taking an 18mm socket and wrench for all of these. And repeat that process on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Barricade Modular Extreme HD Grille Guard in black for your 2007 to 13 Silverado 1500. Thank you for watching, and for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.